Well, boys and girls, it's time for our first game in the National League North Tier 6. We made it. And also our first game at Kiln Park, our temporary home for the year. Plus, first chance to look at some of the new signings from yesterday's transfer special. What more could you want? Hello and welcome to part 26 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have those first two games of the new season at home against Bury Town and away against Warrington. I think I'm going to switch up how I do these first games of the season now. Now we're doing the transfer specials all the time. I don't think I necessarily need to go through all the new signings with you. Yesterday's video wasn't dauntingly long. If you want to see this slot in more detail, go watch that video. The big headline, though, is we're playing at our new temporary home in Rawdons, which is halfway between Peterborough and Northampton. And this is the team we're putting out there for the first game. Looks very familiar. Just two of the new signings making their way into the team. New centre-back Joseph Colley is going to be playing for us at centre-back. He is going to be a superstar for us. Future captain material, I think. And also, we've got Harrison Mayle in goal. I would have liked to have signed a better keeper, but I think we can make do. Other than that, it is our team from last year. We've just really replaced the two players that left, Parry and Collins, with the best of the two new signings. Most of the other new players, you see them appearing down on the bench. I am eager to have a look at Ika Pozo during this game as well. So, our team for our first game at Kiln Park, our first game in the National League North. We have Mayle in goal, a back four of Critchlow Noble, Carter, Colley and Davis, with Phillips as our holding midfield player, Benson and Buckley in front of him, and a front three of Cottrell, Powell and Stanley. Oh, I'm excited. I'm less excited looking at the match fitness. Have we not played any pre-season friendlies? We've played lots of pre-season friendlies, but apparently not enough to actually get fit, which I thought was the purpose. Silly old Kev. The media are expecting us to be challenging for promotion again. The board are looking for a playoff finish. We need to have a solid start to this season. I think it's going to be a hugely tall order to do back-to-back-to-back promotions, but everyone but me seems to be expecting it, so we've got to just go for it. A team such as ours should be winning this match without any problem at all. We're playing our first game at this tier. 2 years ago, we were playing on a park in front of nobody. Now we're playing in a slightly bigger ground, still in front of very few. But we shouldn't be expecting to beat a team that are two levels higher than us. But I think the whole Dean Morris thing and the Anthony Harris thing and the FA Trophy win, all of that has combined to force our reputation up much higher than it has any right to be, which is really handy when it comes to attracting players. Being able to bring Colley in, for example, there's not a chance we should have been able to sign him, and I don't think we would have been able to without the FA Trophy game. But I think having seen some of our players move on to higher levels, like Morris, like Harris, like Kieran Sheridan even, who's now at Nottingham Forest, Stanley's in and puts us 1-0 up. We're building a little bit of a reputation as a team where you can go and prove yourself and get your big move. We're like a small version of Posh. That's what my team Posh do in real life. We sign players, build them up, sell them on. Well, I don't mind building up a mini Posh here at home. Connor Stanley's a perfect example of that. Was a Manchester United trainee, came to us when really he could have played higher, and he's an absolute superstar for us. And there's Mick Powell's first goal of the season as well. It's home to Bury Town 0 after 21 minutes. We're still a very good team, boys and girls. We knew this team of players was a good side from last season. That FA Trophy run, beating so many teams from the National League. We knew we were capable on our day of beating teams at this level. But there's always that fear until you get out here and actually do it. And it looks like we're going to get out and actually do it. Davis now plays it into Buckley. Buckley to Davis. Davis has got men in the middle. Instead finds Benson, who passes it on to Buckley. Buckley all the way across to Critchlow Noble, who does finally get the cross in. We're knocking it around like we don't know which one the goal is, but we've still got the ball. And it's with Davis again. Finds Stanley. Stanley can't square it across to Powell, and it goes out for a throw-in. I would have liked someone to have a shot somewhere in that move where we kept hold of the ball for so long. It's nice knocking it around, pretending you're Barcelona. We are playing in the Conference North, though, and we're only 2-0 up. So let's go 3 or 4-0 up, then knock it around and pretend to be Barcelona. I think that's probably a more sensible system, especially, I've already noticed, Wrexham, top of the league. Wrexham are going to be the big team to beat this year. They've got a lot of money. They've got a lot of good players. they shouldn't be down in the Conference North. It doesn't matter how good we are. I suspect Wrexham are going to be a big challenge. So we need to be on our game from the word go. Boston hovering around us now. There's some big teams down at this level. Teams that I've managed previously in non-league to legend as well. We've got Boston. I noticed Nuneaton down there as well. I think Gainsborough were in our league last year, weren't they? I think. But there's a lot of recognisable teams, and we're probably going to come up against some recognisable players as well this season. Ollie Luto, for example, former Posh trainee. Benson with the cross finds Powell, and it falls to Cottrell. And the three amigos. What are we going to call this front three? All three of them finding the net on the first day of the season, because they're I am starting to feel like this front three might be my favourite attack on Football Manager ever. Stanley, Cottrell and Powell. It sounds like an accountancy firm, but we need a name for them, because the three of them, they're going to fire us into the Football League. I can feel it coming. Shane Phillips is not playing very well, which is a bit of a risk when we've got Pozo sat there, just able to come straight on and take his spot, and that's exactly what Pozo does. Are there any other changes that we need to make? There's nothing else we need to do. Is there anyone else that we want to have a look at? Jacob Greaves, he's one of the new defenders, isn't he? I'd quite like to have a look at Jacob Greaves. So let's bring him on for Collie, who's struggling a little bit for fitness. Get Greaves on, we'll have a look at him for 20 minutes and see if we like the look of him. And I think I'll probably do the same with either Diallo or Walsh as well and have a look at them. Pozo with the free kick, makes it 4. That's Iker Pozo announcing himself to the home faithful. Former Manchester City trainee, real life football player, as you can see from the picture. Again, we shouldn't be able to sign this kind of player, but sign him we have, and score on his debut he has. Kev, use real sentences. Right, what we're going to do for our final change, tell you what, Cameron Archer has had a cracking pre-season, scored a lot of goals. We rewarded him with a new contract that he wasn't expecting. He went down to non-contract for a few weeks, and he played so well in friendlies, and we couldn't find another striker. So we gave him another 1-year contract. He responded by being our top scorer in pre-season, and once again, he gets just 10 minutes coming on for Powell and doesn't do anything with it. He'll take his chance eventually. That has got to be one of the most satisfying first days of the season in the history of the world. Hopefully we can keep it going away against Warrington in a couple of days' time. No changes for the Warrington game then, because we just won 4-0. Shane Phillips needs to buck up his ideas, though. He can't be letting Pozo have too many more opportunities to come on and make an impression like the one he made in that last game. Fingers crossed we can have another awesome performance of awesomeness. Go out there, relax, play your natural game. No. Pick up where you left off. Don't want any of this natural game nonsense. We want more of this trying to play like non-league superstars. That's what we want. That can't be the natural game for any of this lot. But, I'm feeling the excitement of another good season ahead. This is where Warrington are going to bring me back down with a bump. I've been in this situation before where I get too excited and just get thumped and realise, actually, hang on. That first day of the season was just momentum. We were still excited from promotion, and then reality comes and bites us on the backside. But let's not be negative. Let's be positive. Let's have another sip of my honey and lemon tea so that I can continue to talk throughout the rest of this video through my poorliness. Ooh, lemony. Ugh. Right, Collie plays the ball forward to Cottrell. Cottrell with Critchlow Noble on the overlap, who crosses towards Powell. Powell collects. It's Stanley. It's 1-0. Connor Stanley, his second goal of the episode, second goal of the season. Connor Stanley, he was a good signing this time last year. Looking back, he'll do. And Powell did brilliantly there, actually, because it was a fairly poor cross from Critchlow Noble. Powell did well to hold the ball up, play it into Stanley, and there's a nice little relationship. The front three have always been very good individuals. They're starting to form little partnerships and little bits of understanding. What Powell did for Stanley there was superb. And I don't know that Mick Powell would have done that last season, or even the season before when he couldn't play alongside Anthony Harris. Right, keep it up. Everyone's happy. And just keep doing what you're doing. Let's win the second half as well and end the episode top of the league. That would be amazing. I'd love to be top of the league. Cottrell not having the best of games today. We'll keep an eye on that. We have got Walsh on the bench, who's our backup that we signed in the summer to play on either wing, so we didn't have to keep playing Jake Wright out there. Phillips now on the edge of the area, plays it back to Colley, who's very far forward. I think it's because we just had a corner, wasn't it? And Phillips trying from range. Doesn't want to be upstaged by Pozo. Remember, Pozo can play in normal midfield too, so it's not just Phillips who needs to keep an eye on Pozo. Why is Carter being called over there? Carter wasn't the man who fouled him there, surely. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but Hayden Carter's been sent off, and with Jacob Greaves hovering around waiting to replace him, that might come back and cause serious problems for him. I'm going to take... I don't know who to take off. I want to leave the front three on. I think we'll take off Shane Phillips. Bring Greaves on to play in there. What kind of defender are you? Just be a normal defender then. And we'll make that change. If we feel like we need to bring another defensive midfielder in, we've got Pozo who can come and do it. I might even bring Pozo on for one of the other two and just drop him a little bit deeper and play like a one defensive midfielder, one normal midfielder as our midfield two. Cottrell out to Critchlow Noble, crosses to Powell, comes out as far as Davis. Davis finds Buckley. Buckley to Benson. Benson fires it just over. And I think Benson might be the man who's about to come off because Buckley probably has a little bit more attacking oomph about him. Buckley plays it through to Powell. What a through ball. Mick Powell fires over from that was a good opportunity. Mick Powell needs to do a little bit better there. And I think it's time for another change. And, there you go, Benson definitely is the man who's going to be coming off. Pozo can come on for him. And we're just going to do that. And that seems to make sense to me. Perhaps you shouldn't be attacking in the circumstances. Perhaps you can be support. And do that. And then we're just going to keep an eye on Cottrell as well. Because, as I mentioned before, the sending off messed everything up for us. Cottrell's still not playing particularly well. And we do have Walsh on the bench, so that's a change I'm going to make probably in the next 5 minutes or so, unless Cottrell does something fancy. Davis now on the overlap. Another goal here would be very handy. Buckley to Pozo. Pozo makes his way into the area, and it's just over from Pozo, who is already looking like we need to find a way to fit him into this team. Right, we are going to take Cottrell off, bring Walsh on. Walsh does not want to be on the left-hand side. I mean... You can blooming like it. You're getting an opportunity in the team. Connor Stanley's got 2 goals in 2 games. He's not going to play on the right-hand side yet. So we're keeping an eye on Walsh. We're also watching what Pozo gets up to because I'm very excited about him. Don't know if I've mentioned that. And hopefully going to hold on and grind out our first narrow win with 10 men. Hopefully we don't have to make a habit of doing that. Cottrell now. Beautiful ball over the top for Powell. Powell is in. Powell gets his second goal of the season. It's 2-0. I now feel a little bit guilty for taking Ben Cottrell off because his last touch is an absolutely stunning ball for Mick Powell. Look at this pass from Cottrell. It's just, that is perfect. Powell obviously does a lot with it because he's Mick Powell. But he's started the season looking like the striker we never really saw much of last year. I'm still going to take Cottrell off, I think, because I want to have a look at Walsh. And with us being 2-0 up, we should be fairly comfortable for the rest of the game. And hopefully, are we top of the league? We are top of the league as it stands. Mail out to Colley. I want to see Walsh on the ball. Here's Stanley. Can he find Walsh? He's playing it across towards him. And there is Walsh. Let's have a look to see if he's any good. Walsh back to Pozo. And now Buckley and Walsh again. Critchlow Noble's available on the overlap, but everyone's ignoring him. They go across to Davis instead. Stanley turns nicely. It falls to Walsh. And Luke Walsh has his first goal of the season. So... we had all of the front three score in the first game, and the front three that's on the pitch now have all scored in this game as well. Luke Walsh has just said, forget this, those three leading you to the Football League. There's more than 2 wingers at this club now. Luke Walsh puts us 3-0 up. I need more lemon tea. I can't celebrate all these goals. We've scored 7 goals in this episode. And now Warrington are going down to 10 men. Absolutely clattering Walsh there. And that should be that. It was already that, but it's definitely that now. And we are top of the league, 2 wins from 2, a +7 goal difference, a +6 goal difference. And we've only conceded... Stop congratulating yourself too early in games, Kev. Have you learnt nothing from this week? My word. That's a non-league goal, isn't it? Big ball over the top. Their striker's the first to get to it. Our defenders aren't really awake to it. It was the side Carter would have been on if he was still on the pitch. Question marks over Greaves. I think that's a bit harsh. But you know, we've got a lot of good players now. I've got to start making some tough decisions at some point about who my best players are in each position. But for now, I'm happy with the result. We show a bit more passion and we end the episode top of the league. Now, if this is what this season is going to go like, I don't want this to be a 10-episode season, because as much fun as it is for me winning every game, I know it can be pretty dull to watch. So I think we'll play it by ear a little bit when we're going to do the next video. In fact, Nuneaton and Boston as a double header. That's so tempting, but that's so close as well. Let me know down in the comments. Do you want to see Nuneaton and Boston, or do you want to see something a little bit further on in the season, maybe St Ives and Baseford or something like that? Let me know down in the comments, because I'm in the unusual situation of actually I'm recording this at 2 o'clock on the day it comes out, so for once I can actually take that feedback on board. If you have enjoyed today's video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.